Thank you. The Vice President of IFC, Secretary General of ESC, ministers here present, all protocols observed. You allow me to take the advantage of not have been prepared to make this speech earlier, to make it as short as possible. As you've been told, the minister is still held up in a cabinet meeting, but it's my pleasure to, on behalf of the government of Rwanda, to extend a vote of thanks to all of you for being here with us for the last 2 days, for the great ideas we've received from yourselves. A special thanks to IFC for really co-hosting this with us, and in fact for initiating this conference. And we are happy and honored to have partnered with you to organize this conference, but more so to use your rating and your presence everywhere in this world to attract and to help us invite really key resource persons to this conference. So we can say from the government of Rwanda point of view and from the ESC point of view, we've gained a lot from this conference, and the ideas we received from here will help us to really advance and develop our capital markets, but more so advance the integration part of our capital markets. I hope and I'm confident that this is just the beginning and not the end. As we know, this is the first East African capital markets conference, and I'm sure in partnership with IFC we'll take this forward. As I said, the results have been really good. So we thank you again, and as the President said yesterday, I hope most of you that came from outside Rwanda will get time to visit more places, even outside Kigali, to enjoy the hospitality of our country. But more so, those who came in for the first time, as you heard from Jindong, he came in less than 2 years ago, and now he's here for the third time. And so we expect all of you to be coming back and back again. So allow me to now wish you safe journeys back home. I know we still have time to interact and to network, but for now, I want to thank you once again, and I want to take this moment to invite Vice President Jindong to make the closing speech of this conference. Thank you very much.
Honorable Governor, honorable ministers and governors from the region, Secretary General of the EAC, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. This has been an incredible 2 days of brainstorming. And when we are deep and passionate in discussing the future of capital market for Rwanda, for East Africa, and for Sub-Saharan Africa, time really flies. So there has been tremendously good discussion covering everything, from social housing to housing mortgage financing, infrastructure gap, how do we develop bankable projects, SME financing, disruptive technology, regional integration. There are so many things that we have covered. The fact that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, not only opened the conference, but participated in the first morning, given us his personal vision on how capital market is critical for economic development, that is really inspiring, encouraging. So I'll be very short in terms of recollecting from my own perspective a couple of things that I think are important. The first is that there are quite a different elements, whether it's for regional integration or for capital market development or a number of other initiatives that we need to follow. The first is political will. And that political will for regional integration, for capital market development, I think we have heard loud and clear from His Excellency, from ministers, governors, from my fellow multilateral development bank, from African Development Bank, and from IFC. The second is that once we have that political will and leadership, we need a set of sound legal, legislative framework. And once that is done, we need specific regulations and supervision. And this is where, as Ethiopia mentioned, trust, transparency, disclosure, integrity, all of these elements come in. We then need market infrastructure and market players. Here, we're talking about, as mundane as plumbing, day accounting, settlement, clearance, registry, credit rating agencies, auditors, accounting. With that, I think we have to come back to what His Excellency mentioned. That is, all this has to be centered on human capital. It is really the human capital, our expertise, capacity, that will drive everything that I have mentioned. Another thing I wanted to mention is that, there are words about small country, big country, so on and so forth. And I always joke that, where do you come from? I said, in the Chinese scale, I came from a little town of 1 million people. And that's true, right? But that's the Chinese scale. But I just wanted to give people a perspective, whether a country is big or small. Take Rwanda, for example. Rwanda's population is twice as big as Singapore. Look how Singapore has been able to achieve. And if one day Rwanda can achieve that, the size of the market is as big. Even in Africa, look at Mauritius, the amount of capital market infrastructure they're able to do. But of course, at a regional level, we also have good examples. The 10 countries of ASEAN, which includes powerhouses of capital market like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, so on and so forth. Therefore, an investor from Vietnam can buy security issued in Thai baht, or a Malaysian issuer can issue in Philippine peso. And these would be, good examples that we can use here for East Africa region integration. Finally, my conclusion is this, that is, when all said is done, I think we take away a critical message, that is, capital market development is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is a necessity for a country to achieve its full economic potential. With that, I'm very, very happy to make an announcement. I think that goes very well with the closing of this conference. At the beginning, I share with you the good news that Euroclear on Monday has included Rwandan franc as a Euro-clearable currency. Now, through the hard work of my team, I'm very pleased to announce, and we have just issued the first offshore Rwandan franc bond. Now, this news was just delivered to me 2 minutes before I came onto the podium. And that's how good a timing it is. So let me just give you a little detail about this bond. It's about $5 million US, 3.5 billion Rwandan franc equivalent, 3-year maturity, 9% coupon or yield, and with 5 international investors. So I think, although we view this as a pilot transaction, but this is a powerful signal to demonstrate that we can connect international investors with the ultimate domestic economic development. You know, this money could be used in supporting local entrepreneurs in local currency. So really, they can focus on growing their business instead of worrying about foreign exchange. So this is yet another milestone, together with the conference, in showcasing our commitment in working with the Rwandan government, the private sector, but also with the East Africa community countries, and for that matter, all of sub-Saharan African countries in the region, in terms of supporting private sector growth and eventually achieving the goal of eradicating poverty and building shared prosperity. Now, one last note, that is for those of us who are husbands or boyfriends, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so don't forget to send flowers. So I wish all international participants a safe journey back, but I urge you to stay a couple more days in Rwanda, really enjoy the hospitality and the natural beauties of the country with 1,000 hills. I wanted to thank the government for being such a gracious, hospitable co-host, putting on, you know, a terrific reception, including the culture show last night. I wanted to give special thanks to the organizing committee, the people who worked for the last several months from IFC, but also from the government, Minister of Finance, National Bank, and Capital Market Authority. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause. I want to thank our sponsors. Your support has been critical in facilitating this conference. As somebody said, we need the lubricant. You are the lubricant to making things running smoothly. Last, certainly not the least, I wanted to thank all the participants. I hope you have found the 2 days worthwhile, but more importantly, I hope all of us will stay in touch. Whether you are from outside of the region, in the region, or from Rwanda, I encourage you to take advantage of the network opportunities and to reach out, because there are investment opportunities if you're an investor. There are opportunities to help out if you are from a multilateral or bilateral institutions providing capacity building. If you have a good idea, if you are an entrepreneur, I think please, let's not stop here. Let's use this as a starting point. So until next time, thank you very, very much.